into the future.
Real gaming opinions.
The obvious question is, of course, how long will this smashing success last for video games?
The last line of defense in major gaming news.
The GameZilla Podcast.
Look, there comes one of them now.
Welcome to the GameZilla Podcast, your last line of defense in major gaming news. I'm your host, Grimlock, and with me in the GameZilla Media Studios, my co-host, my audio producer, Butterboy!
This is butter! I mean 300. Sorry, I get too excited.
Thank you for this new intro. I'm loving it right now.
You're welcome.
It only took you a year and a half.
No, that's not true. It took me 11 months. I started working on this last March.
Okay, 11 months, but it was worth every single day. Thank you for the new intro, guys. Welcome to episode 300. If you're watching us live on mixer.com/GameZilla Media, then you need to give a shout out to Player One Mickey, our audio or video producer, who's doing all these these new gadgets and gizmos and whatever is happening on this screen. It's all thanks to Player One Mickey. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on, guys. He's very busy, so we're gonna keep it short. But thank you for all the new stuff we're going to be exploring here on episode 300.
Now, this is episode 300.
Is it?
This is our 300th edition of this program.
Did we do episode 0 on this show?
No, because I wouldn't have allowed such stupidity for GameZilla Alpha, our at one time sideshow that we had. Grim set episode 1 as episode 0.
It was a test show.
It drove me insane.
Yeah, I knew you liked it.
In fact, I'm not going to sleep tonight because you mentioned that.
Good. But anyways, congratulations, buddy.
Yeah.
You did it.
All me.
You survived me for 300 episodes.
There was no one else with us at day one.
0 people.
There was no one else who possibly could have started this show off 300 episodes ago.
I don't think so. I mean, if they were probably like obnoxious, drove me crazy. Probably how I treat you nowadays. Like,
yeah, absolutely. They were probably way worse.
Yeah.
And they're probably not anywhere close by to celebrate this anniversary with us.
Thank God. Yeah, absolutely not. Because let's be honest, if they were, I'd probably just walk out of here.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to partake in any of that.
Oh, are you guys talking about me?
Oh!
Chops!
I wanted to sit there for like 7 more minutes just to make you sweat, but I was already sweating.
I was very close to just pulling the green screen off your dumbass.
Shut up.
How was it in there?
Steamy.
People were calling out that there was green screen issues that we should fix, and I'm like, well, if I mess with it too much, they'll realize there's something.
Don't they know there's no quality on the show? So what do you want them to fix?
No, the quality control left long ago.
You're on my green screen. Get off it.
Hey, don't tell me what to do.
Move your red.
You're
cheek.
not my dad.
I could be.
Man.
I could have traveled back in time. You don't know me.
Well,
I am
Chops,
far too pale to be your
welcome
son.
to episode 300.
Actually, we're starting over. This is a new episode 1. Chops is back. Everyone, grab your loved ones. Get out of the house.
GameZilla is
No
officially...
one's safe anymore.
We're officially doing a reboot. We've gone Hollywood.
That's right.
GameZilla Podcast 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Chops didn't know this, but by him coming on today, he's signed a contract binding.
Joke's on you. Craig WK already got me in a binding contract. I can't have more than one.
Well,
Suckers.
Well, I will call an ambulance-chasing lawyer you may be familiar with, and he's going to take care of all of this.
Man.
So anyways,
Crap.
How you doing,
Plan for
bud?
that. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I like seeing your face.
It's
This feels we're nice and
It's a
like
beautiful face.
we're nice and close to each other so that we
Let's
fit
get
in camera.
Let's get in real close
Yeah,
here.
and so
'Cause we're friends.
it
I like
reminds
the whole
me.
show.
This feels
It
right.
reminds me of like us all huddling around one microphone trying to do the show back in the day. I mean, Deadite wasn't here because he was smart.
No, I just
he
be
wasn't here.
editing 200 miles away.
He was the smart one.
He wasn't here because he didn't care.
You're right about that. I didn't care.
Hey, did I?
Yeah. You need to work on your sustain and your tone.
That's been episode 300.
That was bad.
I'm just here to ruin things.
That was bad.
But no, congratulations on 300. I was there for half,
Roughly.
maybe? No, maybe less.
It was at least you were there for at least 100 of them.
At least.
Yeah.
At least 100. And then I knew I had to get out and do something greater. The Legend of Retro. Every Thursday,
Mute his mic.
Screw this stuff. Retro gaming
man.
is where
He's
it's
too close
at.
to my mic to be able to mute him.
Suckers, I know all the hooks.
Man, he's good. Damn, he's good. We should have never let him go.
Yep, that's right.
You let this cage bird fly, you fools.
You're right about that.
We got some news, and we
Hit me with that
we
news.
wanted you on one of these topics, so we brought you in for this.
I'm an expert.
It's very important.
I know how to talk about nothing.
Grim, tease the ladies and gentlemen and children listening with a quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about here in the news today. Let them know.
Something blue,
Smurfs?
maybe. We're gonna be talking about next gen a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Maybe some problems that,
Like
are on the horizon.
Our progeny?
Sure. We're gonna be talking about. What else are we talking about? I already forgot.
I got this. I got this. Sonic the
Did progeny
no,
mess you up?
no, something blue.
something blue.
I already got that one.
Something expensive.
Wanting to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
cheap.
Which is the next gen.
We're talking about something disappointing,
There we go. Yeah,
And
yeah.
all of those could be
Disappointment.
applied.
and we're talking about something Korean.
The big end, disappointing once again.
Sashin's coming?
Man, I wish.
Is
That's
it?
that was the worst set of teases for any news topic.
No, I think
It
it's
is.
great.
It is. I'm going to drink this beer some more.
But before we get into it, though, I do have our first big announcement
All right, let's hear it.
for the GameZilla podcast moving forward.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So everybody that's hanging out right now, if this is your first show, if you've been to every Mixer show since we've moved to Mixer, we're doing a new exclusive to our Mixer live streams Monday nights. Every episode, we will be giving away a $10 credit to your choice of Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, or Steam. Here's the kick. You have to be here to accept the if you win.
In studio.
Yep. No, you have to be in studio
I'll
here
be
in
here
Michigan.
every week,
You have to
suckers.
be in the stream. And as long as you're here, if your name is drawn and you confirm that you're in the chat, then we will be getting you a $10 credit to your choice of platform.
And team members are eligible.
No, that's incorrect.
Then why am I even here?
you could
Why
quit.
am I here?
Theoretically, you could quit right now.
I quit for the week
Yeah,
and then win it and then come back and then
Right.
quit next week.
Right. Yeah. Every other week. How about you do that?
Okay, that's
Okay.
I can
All
do
right.
that.
I'll allow that. But anyways, that is something that's going to be starting here. We wanted to announce it today. We got everybody on board with it. I think it'll be pretty cool. We're just trying to continue to grow the excitement around Mixer, continue to grow the viewership around Mixer, and this is one way that we're going to try to do that.
No doubt, no doubt.
So,
Sure enough.
No doubt. The band, no doubt?
Man, walking in a spider
Man,
web.
Walk in the spider webs. Leave a message and I'll call you back.
So something that I have no doubt of whatsoever is that I feel strongly in gratitude towards our patrons that help make everything on GameZilla Media possible. So thank you so much to all of our patrons, both at the $1 and $5 level. And we have some new stuff brewing for the $1 Patreon level of patrons, and that is State of the Zilla, which is a new show, which is a collaboration crossover of different members from the GameZilla Media team as they just discuss different topics that kind of branch outside the scope of what we do for our regular shows. That's available to our patrons who are $1 per month or higher, but don't forget the sweet spot is at the $5 a month exclusive content tier in Patreon, where you will receive at least one free bonus podcast. Not free, it's for the patrons. It is exclusive podcast you can't get anywhere else. They're available for you. You get GameZilla Podcast pre-shows available there for you. You get Game Shark from The Legend of Retro.
That's right.
But all the shows on the GameZilla Media Network all have a show available for you there. And where my brain farted is we're going to have a special free show available as a thank you to our patrons and to our listeners for celebrating 300 episodes with us, and we'll be posting that episode here later tonight, and it's going to be a collaboration of a lot of members of the GameZilla Media team across all our different shows, so really excited about that. So we want you to go over to Patreon, get that little sample of the goodness you can get available there for you, and we'll have links out on our Twitter and in our Discord for you. So thank you so much to all of our patrons for supporting us through all these episodes, and let's get into some news.
whoa.
What?
Hold on. First, Nathan Dracaris is an Atwater Dirty Blonde, just so you know.
You're talking to Mixer, right?
And Mixer. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, Mixer. Listen here, Mixer.
Live every Monday night.
There's
on
this Owl Zero
Mixer.com.
guy in the Mixer chat who's poking fun at us. Let me say this. He said, "What kind of crap is this? GameZilla is amazing." they have this guy Chops come on and just pull it to new levels. Everyone forget about that jazzy guy. He's in the shitter. That's not what he said, but I'm telling you, that's what he said.
Okay, fair enough. But before we go completely sideways, because
Please do. I just wanted to throw everything sideways.
That's what we used to do all the time with you.
That's what we used to do?
Yeah, you and I. When we did the show together, you just
when it was
destroyed
good.
the
I
show
remember,
every
I remember
episode.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, like Xbox, turn on, or whatever her name was, or Connect.
No, we're not going back into
Episode 1, come on.
Review episode 1. Episode 1 was about nothing.
No, the
All right,
pilot to this show was Chops and Grim trying to set up an Xbox Connect, and it made me honestly think about diving out of a moving car to get away from hearing this.
That's fair. But okay, here we go. You ready? I did want to do something because you were talking about Patreon. I want to give a shout out to our 5 new patrons from this week.
Oh, give it to him.
Yeah, 5 new Wait, one. I can't count. Yeah, 5. Jafer, thank you for becoming a patron. Steve-O, thank you for becoming a patron. Ghostwalker, thank you for becoming a patron. Sci-Fi AJ, thank you for becoming a patron.
Stop. Chops, you are no longer allowed to touch the board.
I thought I would do it multiple times.
Damn. And of course, our good friend DK. We're gonna call him DK.
Yeah.
DK, thank you and
David.
welcome to Patreon. Everybody joined this week. It was a big week for us.
It was a big week. Thank you so much for supporting us here at episode 300 of the GameZilla Podcast. Now can we do the news?
Yeah, I feel like I missed somebody.
Ecto?
Ecto, yeah.
Yeah.
Why did the name's not here anymore?
Hit show more. Do you know how
I
those things
did.
work?
I did.
Oh, look, there he is.
I had to hit it twice. And
Sounds like
Ecto.
user error.
Yeah. Well, look at it. Like
believe this
duplicate.
guy?
Look at it. Look at this. You tell me this isn't duplicated right here.
I don't know what you're talking about. I drink a beer.
It's all duplicate. Anyways, Mr. Ecto, thank you for becoming a patron.
Speaking of which, could someone else that might be in the room get me a beer? Because I'm not going to make it through this show.
Also, can I have another Atwater Dirty Blonde, please?
All right, I'm rolling the news intro.
News. Here it is.
I'm searching the web for the latest gaming news. Searching GameZillaMedia.com. Downloading headlines.
Alexander, what about this monster story of yours?
Download complete.
Topic number 1 is that I don't have the show topics up, but it is
We're talking
Sonic
about
the Hedgehog
Sonic.
doing some crazy record breaking here. And I'm not talking video games.
This one's skunky. Look at the bottom of that. It's
I think I need the bottle opener that's on top of the fridge, but that's beside the point. Sonic the Hedgehog is dominating the box office.
It
This is
is.
getting-
It beat out Birds of Prey.
Well, that
Which-
wasn't hard.
Opening weekend.
That wasn't-
Harley Quinn.
That wasn't hard to do at all.
Man.
But it did beat out Detective Pikachu.
It
and
did
it
by like
is
3 million.
Hey, and it is the most successful video game movie opening weekend ever.
Now, of the video game movies released, if you had a choice to make one successful over the others, please tell me you choose Resident Evil.
No.
3.
No. God, no. Are
Fine,
you
Double
kidding me?
Dragon.
No, you're going in the wrong direction here.
Okay, all right. Continue with your news story.
Anyways, okay. Paramount Pictures here with Sonic the Hedgehog, record-breaking $57 million in the opening weekend, and like you said, Detective Pikachu did $54.3 million. So
It did. That's actually, I'm really surprised that Sonic beat out Detective Pikachu.
here's the thing about this movie.
It's good.
Did you see it?
I did see it.
Okay, good. Oh, that's right. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that you saw it.
dummy.
Last time I saw you, you were running out the door to see it.
That's right.
So, the thing about this is, if you go back and you watch the original trailers, this was one of
I
those
don't wanna-
movies
no.
that upset the entire like world.
It was like when I first saw the Cat in the Hat trailer. Like, I literally cried for 3 days.
But like, do you realize, or do you think about it, like the way that like the whole world became like upset about this? You're like, wow, I think there's more Sonic fans than I thought there were.
Well, yeah, if you think about it, the generation of those people who absorbed the Sonic games are older.
Yeah, but you
more
think they all
vocal.
gave up on Sonic a long time ago?
Nah,
I
nah,
mean, with all the
Sonic's still
bad
a
Sonic
hard-
games, one after another, you'd think that they just gave up.
No, we're all blind.
But anyways, the thing about it here is they spent something like $21 million
Mm-hmm.
to fix this movie because that's how bad Sonic looked in the initial
Yeah.
trailers, and people just lost their mind. So, yeah,
Deadite. Come back here. The bottle opener's on the floor. Remember I threw it at you? He's an idiot. Anyways.
Episode 300. It's a shit show. Anyways, they spent a ton of money to fix this movie. We already thought it was dead on arrival.
Honestly, so how likely is a movie these days able to get a second chance prior to release?
No, usually if you have something like that where
It's over.
Yeah, it's over before it began.
Exactly. So, one, it's amazing that they listen to fans, okay?
Yeah.
That alone is a feat. And
True.
that's smart for people was it Paramount, right?
Paramount, yeah.
It's smart for them. But two, the fact that it's successful. I don't know if it's fully made all of its money back that it's spent based off of how much it had to spend to redo the CG, but it's well on its way.
Yeah, I believe that actually the movie is already profitable because they've broken the 100 million mark globally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
And it's still trucking along.
Honestly, it's crazy too because if you saw that this was kind of originally come out the weekend of Frozen 2,
Yep.
which is so far the #1 best-selling or highest-grossing animated movie that's been released in theaters. I honestly think it's better that it released later. I don't think it would have had as good of a show if it was out the same weekend as Frozen.
Well, I
no
think
way.
it found a good spot, which is surprising because February is not usually a great month for movie releases. This is usually that time of year where
It slows down.
production companies release their weaker movies
Yeah,
on purpose right around now, which
It's right after awards ceremony,
Yeah.
so nobody's paying attention anyways.
I think Sonic was probably they assumed it was one of their weaker
Mm-hmm.
movies, so they put it in here. But I don't think they expected this type of result especially from the opening weekend.
I will say that it is a well-made kids movie.
Yeah.
I went with friend of the show, co-host of the show, tall man who loves pizza, Xander. I won't say how he looks because he wants me to talk about how he looks constantly. It's weird. But anyways, so I went with him to the movie, and we were both pleasantly surprised at this movie. I laughed out loud at points.
Nice.
It was that fun to me.
I might go see it tomorrow. My wife said she isn't interested in seeing it, but the fact that it's actually getting decent reviews makes me excited to go and see it.
Will we do? Will Ellen go if we do a double date?
Yes.
Okay.
She'll do. She
You were gonna say she'll do
Hey,
anything.
no, yeah,
for a double date.
I wouldn't go that far. She is very easy to persuade into a double date.
Did you guys leave the door open?
There's someone in the
again?
studio.
Oh, don't. I hope he doesn't show his face.
You can't open that
No,
door without
get
being
Get out of here!
All right, all right.
It's like Elf
We
on the Shelf.
designed the
It's Sphinx in
studio
bathroom.
poorly because the restrooms, unfortunately, are right next to the green screen. Anyways,
Yeah, back to this movie.
Yeah.
It is. I'm very happy that it got the success that it deserved. Mostly because it's an example of branding and sticking and trusting with your product on Paramount's part that this was successful. They trusted that they could fix it, and they branded it well after it was released. And I think they did everything that they could to make this successful. I don't think it could have been any more successful than it was.
yeah, and I think I've heard a lot. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've heard a lot about Jim Carrey and his character and just how much they believe they gave control to Jim Carrey to just be the character.
One of the greatest things that the film has is everybody's all in that's acting in it. From the voice of Ben Schwartz as the voice of Sonic to Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, everybody felt invested in the movie and like actually acted. It didn't feel cheesy at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that plays a huge part of it. When you have a big name like Jim Carrey, who I don't know lately hasn't done a whole lot of stuff,
Right.
you wonder if he still has the chops. It was literally like he walked off the set of Dumb and Dumber and just started doing this movie. He was right on point.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it lets him. What they said is it lets him play a character that he's so good at from like Ace Ventura days and that type of stuff. That's
Yeah,
just that
wacky.
wacky, manic, just crazy. Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Okay.
Other than like this article that we were looking at earlier uses like the old footage of Sonic,
Oh, yeah.
which just bothers me.
Yeah,
like they
it's
should
bad.
be getting rid of that.
It's real bad. So this now puts the third video game movie in a row to break the 50% mark on Rotten Tomatoes. And that would be
I like that. That's the mark, like half.
yeah.
Hey, you're better than half.
You know how bad
what's your
video
g-
game movies were rated if that's what we're going for.
What's your goal on a lot of things you do? Aren't you constantly like, if I do it half well, it's okay?
No. I say C's get degrees, and that's a 70% effort.
Oh, okay.
So just to point it out there, your 3 films are Sonic, Detective Pikachu, and then they gave the third to the breakthrough performance of Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I don't believe
in
this one.
2018's Rampage.
No, I don't believe that.
Dude, did you see it?
No.
I saw it.
I liked it.
Yeah, but would you call it a breakthrough performance of Dwayne The Rock Johnson? I think he's been there, done that. I think he's already broken out.
He's been broken out for a while.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait. What are you guys talking about? Like, I saw the Scorpion King, and then he went away for like 8 years, wrestled a couple matches, went away again, and then boom, all of a sudden he's in Rampage. I'm like, holy crap, The Rock's back.
Yeah, his breakthrough performance wasn't until Rampage. It had nothing to do with Moana.
What?
He was in Moana, people.
What?
That
Was he
way
the crab?
better.
Was he
Way
the big
better than
crab? Was he the big crab?
That was I love that.
He was
that
the
crab.
chicken, I think.
No.
Hey.
I hate
Yeah.
you guys.
Dude, I love that movie. I know everything about it.
Wasn't Dwayne Groot too? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I have glass bottles here that I'm not afraid to break and stab people with.
Good.
Even if it is caught on camera, Mixer. Don't tell anybody.
They won't.
It's just between us.
They don't actually like us. It's
Between us
okay.
friends.
They'll pay you embers probably to see it.
Ooh, all right.
So
Let's see how many embers we can get for some barroom brawls.
So after the success of Sonic,
Yeah. We got to talk about something really important.
Sega is a toilet company, as if they've been spinning the bowl
I
for
can
20
buy-
years.
Oh, so I got really excited that I could buy a Sega braided toilet that
No,
had the ring sound effect when you flushed it. Or
No,
Yeah,
Sega.
that'd be
When we
so
say
great.
toilet brand, instead of doing anything with their Dreamcast for an anniversary, they took their Dreamcast, they teamed up with a candle company, and they made a Dreamcast candle.
Okay, here's my question: Are they any worse?
Thanks,
Are they
Sega.
any worse than Atari right now?
No, Atari's worse.
Okay, exactly my point. Sega,
I can't
they are
Sega-
still a game
no,
maker.
I take
they
that
are
back.
still a game maker.
I take that back. Atari's about to open up hotels.
Yeah, that look like its system,
Oh, wait.
which was released in the 70s.
Time out.
I mean, those are fake.
Time
but
out.
still.
Sega hasn't even tried to make a new system where Atari is taking people's money and allegedly
Oh,
trying.
you're saying that Atari is making a system, or are they lying to the public and stealing money?
Either way, they brought a plastic shell to
Is
the,
what it is.
to the- yeah, they brought a plastic shell and said this is going to be the system. That's more than Sega did.
Yeah, and they put tissues in, and they're like, it's an oversized tissue box.
Instead, Sega
can
just
cry your tears of
Sega just
disappointment.
sells the Sonic IP to whatever they want. They're
Yeah,
like,
they're
oh,
making money off of it. Why wouldn't they? They don't have to worry about production costs for a system. They literally just sell their ideas. That's the job I want. I want to sell my ideas to people and let them do the work. So, you guys ready for my idea?
no, I'm not ready for your idea.
All right.
But okay, since Sega just hit a home run here, right? It's
No, okay, they hit a double at best. It's
home
not a
run,
double
grand
at best.
slam,
Double at best.
Nintendo shaking in their boots. There's got to be 11 other Sega franchises that should be movies. 11.
Okay,
11.
I want a Soul
10, not
Calibur
12,
movie.
11.
Is that a Sega franchise?
No,
Dang.
no.
Yeah, I want.
Virtual Fighter, I think, is a Sega
Ooh,
franchise.
even better.
If we didn't have a list in front of us, I would love for you to challenge me to name 6 Sega franchises.
Yes.
Name 6 Sega franchises. Even if you had the list in front of you, name them.
Oh, it's easy.
Space Harrier.
You don't
Fantasy Zone.
What is Fantasy? Oh, Fantasy Zone. Yes, yes,
Fantasy
yes.
Star.
Monkey Ball.
You mean 3
Crazy
more.
Taxi.
2 more.
Echo the Dolphin.
No.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Is
it
it
was
really?
developed
Yes.
in-house
Okay.
at Sega.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
I mean, you got a freebie right on your screen,
Don't
for
look,
God's
don't
sake.
look.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I knew it.
What about Golden Axe?
Oh yeah, Golden Axe is Sega. Or Altered Beast was first
That's
party.
what I meant. Altered Beast. That's what I meant.
Golden Axe. I don't know if that was.
I'm
developed by
not
Sega or
sure.
not.
We'd have to ask.
We have
an
to have
expert.
someone who's smarter in the
Ooh,
room.
Streets of Rage movie. LPJ wants.
Streets of Rage, yeah. Okay, so anyways, 11 other Sega franchises that should be movies.
This is a weighted title. Should be is very strong
this,
of a word.
This is clickbait and this is offensive.
This isn't
offensive.
clickbait. This is on
very offensive.
Geek.com, a reputable website.
Is it?
Yakuza.
Is it?
Yakuza.
No.
Yes.
Okay, no, you can actually make a
This is
Yakuza movie.
This is probably the only one I agree
No,
with
yeah.
on
They
this
should
list.
make a Yakuza movie that is not based on the game but called Yakuza.
They did that.
Oh, really? Thank you, Miggy. And how did that one do?
Not good.
Yep. Well, now you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, but what about this next one? Echo the Dolphin.
I would go see that release night
Nah.
at
No,
midnight.
you would not.
You
Nah.
know,
You would
no,
not.
no,
Nah.
you know.
Can you explain what the premise of Echo the Dolphin is without confusing anybody?
It's a dolphin
Yeah?
that's trying to clean up the ocean.
Nope. Nope.
I took a guess, man.
Nope.
I think it's,
I'm pretty sure there's aliens involved that steal all the animal life in the ocean. I'm pretty sure.
that's probably true. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about Echo the Dolphin. It is well documented that I love sea creatures. I'd go see Echo the Dolphin day one.
What about a crossover of Echo the Dolphin versus Jaws? Just like Jason versus Freddy.
You got me, man.
Yeah, but
Day
you wouldn't
one.
want that one because Jaws is going to lose.
Why?
Because Echo's the hero, and they're going to make sure that Echo... It's Sega franchise. They got to protect their IP.
What you don't know secretly is that dolphins are plotting to take over the world and figuring out when they can come back on
They're
land.
plotting to do
I'm not-
something,
I'm
but it's
not
not take over
sure.
the world.
I'm not sure a whole pod of bottlenose dolphins could take down a great white shark.
I know, that's why this is going to be a Sega movie that sucks and should never be made.
But he's got weird echolocation powers. He probably just drive the shark crazy.
A couple bottlenoses could take down some bull sharks. But I mean, we're talking a Jaws size 20-foot squalus.
Yeah,
It's not happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
I'm seeing some really good answers in the Mixer chat, but we got to go through this list so you guys can understand that none of those made this list.
None of them. None of them. No, one of them. One of them did.
The next one is Crazy Taxi.
You got a crazy minutes.
That I would like to see as like Bruce Willis as the driver.
I could see
Just,
this
like,
movie
really
working
weird.
if you did it R, like shoot 'em up. Just go way
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the top
Shoot
and
'em
just
up.
be stupid and just crazy.
Or Crank.
Crank, yeah, Crank's a good one too.
This movie
with,
is 90
Sphinx.
crazy
So Jason
minutes.
Statham's a taxi driver.
Yeah, that
Wait,
would work.
Did you guys see
yeah.
Stuber with Dave Bautista?
I did.
It could have been a crazy
It was
taxi
really
movie.
good.
It was so funny. It was
I
way better than I
liked that
expected.
movie a
Stuber
lot.
is a good movie.
It's so good.
I
I
would like
think-
to be invited on Last Action Podcast when they cover that wink wink.
So,
If there were anyone in the room.
so the next one here is one that we did see in the chat and actually I think works. Shinobi.
So, and looking at this list, if I wanted a ninja video game to be made into a movie, it definitely would be Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah,
Way
but we're
over
not.
Shinobi.
But we're talking about this.
I don't care about this.
Okay.
No,
Dude,
Shinobi
Shinobi is
would
way
be
better
okay.
because it's all about throwing the ninja stars and stuff.
Well, and he's got like ninja powers.
Yeah, man.
He's
I'm a
got,
Shinobi guy.
He's got ninja powers.
Ninjutsu.
Oh God.
Haven't you watched Naruto? Come on.
No, you damn well
The
know
only thing I
didn't.
know about Naruto is that they run like weirdos with their
Yeah,
arms
it's a
straight
ninja
back.
run.
And,
That's what they
Ninja
did
stuff.
at Area 51.
and I only have that. I only know that because of Fortnite. Okay.
Really? You don't know that because of the Area 51's thing? That's the whole reason it got started.
I mean, I saw that run, but that run existed before that.
Oh, I know, but it was just that's why I think it got popular because the guy was like, and then we outrun their bullets by Naruto running.
We got to pick up the pace here. We're at the 30-minute
I'm
mark.
sorry.
We got a lot of show to get through.
Shinobi was okay. Next one, Space Harrier.
What? No.
No.
Who would want a Space Harrier movie? It's a
not
dude.
me.
It's a dude that flies through the air with a grenade launcher shooting at spaceships. The premise of the game itself is idiotic.
Would
the thought of
you-
making a movie out of
Would
it.
you rather have a Space Harrier movie or a Rampage movie?
Hold on, I gotta read a Rampage movie.
Rampage was fun. I liked
Let me
Rampage.
read the last sentence of this. I actually haven't read all of this. Think about the racing scenes in the Wachowski Speed Racer. Stop right there. You shouldn't make this movie.
No,
if that's
Speed
what you're
Racer was
thinking,
great.
if that's what you're thinking about, stop. Don't make this movie.
Speed Racer was great.
Low key, I like the Wachowski Speed Racer.
I like it from the standpoint of it was insane and
I
should
loved
have
it.
yeah it should have never been made and it flopped horribly.
No, it was amazing.
It flopped horribly.
It was an artistic masterpiece.
Which is why Space Harrier shouldn't be made if you're going to compare it to that. And they compare it to that with only lasers and dragons thrown into the mix.
No, thank you.
Next one is Virtual On.
Low key.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't even know what this
I don't
game
even know
is.
what that is.
Let's be honest.
If it's a mech game, no.
Well, they're tying it to Pacific Rim as an example. So I mean, if it's giant robots and they're going to fight each other, I'm kind of into it.
The next giant robots fighting movie I want to see is a Gundam Wing movie.
Now here's the next one that I'm like, you picked this game over some of these others that we've been hearing about in the chat here on Mixer.com. Rent-A-Hero.
Yeah, I like that they picked this one and it said was never brought to the West. Why would we want a
Rent-A-Hero.
movie that's never been brought to the West?
Rent-A-Hero.
Oh God.
Okay, now just remember this specific game
Honestly,
once we finish this list.
I could see this as a movie with that title.
Well,
Rent a Hero. It'd be
he's
done.
It's called Paul Blart Mall
yeah.
Cop.
Well, let's just be honest. He's a pizza delivery place and with a suit of super powerful armor, is what it says. Instead, he uses it to become a superhero when he finds it.
Yeah, I'd rather have that robot pizza delivery game be turned into a movie. What was that one?
Oh God, this sounds horrible. He says, but the suit isn't free, and Taro is on the hook to pay rental fees.
Oh,
What?
Oh God, no.
What?
Next movie.
What do we got next? What's next?
Space Channel 5,
Oh
the movie.
yeah, sexy.
I mean, this you could do some sort of goofy ass like musical with this game.
Mila Jovovich returns as the main character.
Up next, Gain Ground.
Gain Ground. Don't know it.
It's gained a few fans in
that-
recent years after the 1988 arcade release. In Game Ground, you lead a motley crew of warriors through a vertical scrolling stage set in numerous different areas of history.
Eras.
Yeah, I can't read. I was doing real good. No one would have known I read that wrong if you didn't have to kick me down.
It's totally Eras.
I like how they say they should make a movie of this, but right in their description they go, "It's a little unimaginative." they say that right in here, but it's action packed though, so it's okay. It'll be a great summer popcorn hit. They said.
Next, straight out of 1999, Jet Set Radio.
No.
Nope.
No.
But come on, the next one
Yes.
is the winner.
Yes.
No,
Greatest of all
yes.
time.
I've already seen this one. It's on the
Yes.
internet.
It's on the internet.
Yes.
Seaman.
Seaman. Haunt your
Seaman.
dreams. Seaman haunts your dreams.
One of the most bizarre video games ever released on any platform, Seaman used a microphone for the Dreamcast to present a seriously strange take on the virtual pet trend, a human-faced fish that would interact with you verbally. As it grew from an egg to a mature form, the digital life form became more intelligent and cunning, often asking you questions that could feel very uncomfortable. It's a perfect setup for a horror film with the game's unsettling premise and odd visuals not needing too much tweaking. There still hasn't been anything quite like it in the 21 years since it was originally released.
What they need to do is superimpose Seaman over Finding Nemo and just make the whole movie with Seaman.
Ooh.
Finding Seaman.
Finding Seaman. That's right. Thank you for that, Miggy. Thank you for that.
Oh my God.
There is not enough beer in the fridge to get me through this show.
Listen, all I'm saying is everybody here that played Seaman, raise your hand because it was a great game.
I didn't. I did not.
Yep. All
A
right.
great game. It was a great game.
I beat it.
That doesn't make
How
it
do you
great.
beat it? Is it when he becomes sentient?
How do you beat
and just,
Seaman?
You want to know how you beat Seaman?
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler alert in case anybody want to play it, okay?
No.
He eventually turns into a frog or something, right? And then the aquarium he's in, like the glass falls out and he pretty much tells you to like go F yourself and he leaves.
So he becomes Frogman?
And then you start over with a new one.
Yeah, great. A great game.
Yeah.
I want the movie to end that way.
I
then.
sat there as a teenager teaching many bad words to Seaman, and he was pretty mean. He was a pretty bad dude. I'm glad he left. It was getting a little concerning.
Maybe you should have left.
No, I wish I could break out of my aquarium and leave right now.
Oh, God.
The door's right there, buddy. We built it for easy exit.
Could you imagine the end?
It's a bad idea to invite people.
The end of the movie.
How is Phantasy Star not on
wasted your
here?
time.
Because no one even knows that game exists.
No one knows what some of the Gain Ground and Rent a Hero.
Because it's an
and-
overrated series.
Listen, Phantasy Star, the original RPG.
If it was not overrated, it would have been here in the States in every release.
It is here in the States.
No,
On
not
time.
all the releases.
What are you talking about?
Didn't they not release a bunch of Phantasy Star games over here and only in Japan?
Are you talking about like the PS Vita ports and stuff?
Yeah. Like the Phantasy Star Online games.
You want to fight right now? You want to die?
Well, on that note, I think it's time for Chops to leave. Thank
Phantasy
you.
Star
Why am I
Online 2
gonna
comes
leave?
out this spring, motherfucker.
Sure it
8
does.
years after
Sure
launch.
it does, Grim. Have you told them yet that it's not coming
It
out?
only took 8 years for them to translate all the dialogue.
All right, well, I'm
That's
good.
definitely what took them so long.
I'm going to see myself out,
Yeah,
but
Chops, thanks for being here.
thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I
get
gotta-
out of here.
I got to go go to my
Let's
award-winning
make it
podcast.
another 150 episodes before you come back.
Don't promise that. Enjoy the show, fellas. Happy 300th episode. I want to go stab somebody in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, someone is knocking at the door. Who could that be? Hopefully not someone here to disrupt our next segment.
Well, see ya.
Let me go answer the door, apparently. I thought the door had a knob, but maybe it got locked. This is a bathroom, so I'm really confused. Hey! Damn, it's the Sphinx.
What is
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh, we're matching! Yeah, we're matching.
It's going on YouTube.
You look great. You look way better than Chops because you match with me.
Time out. Whose idea was it? Whose idea was this?
Whose idea was what? To invite Sphinx or to do the Mr. Rogers
close
thing?
that door, you
or the match? We didn't plan that.
Swine. Oh.
We didn't plan this. We didn't coordinate.
God help us.
Woo! The Sphinx is here from the Last Action Podcast. That was a very action-filled entrance.
Right?
He's out of breath and everything.
Well, I know. I was told I had to run down here and do the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I thought you were out of
I was
bed.
outside. I wasn't in the bathroom.
No, that was the bathroom. I thought you were out of. We know why you were out of breath.
Well, you guys are wrong.
So
No.
So
I was outside.
Sphinx from the Last Action Podcast at GameZillaMedia.com.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Now I have to say, this is episode 300, and Chop set the bar extraordinarily low for competency of a guest today.
Welcome.
So,
He sure did. Even though I wasn't in the bathroom, I was walking here.
yeah.
You know, I was listening to it on Mixer, and
Did you break the bathroom window? Is that how you got in?
Maybe.
I mean, it's glass block. I'm impressed.
Very strong.
I have my ways.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, man. How's that pizza treating you?
Okay. Not so bad.
Yeah, okay.
Would you like a slice?
No, I'm good. I already had my pizza before I recorded. I'm good.
Well, it was just given to me, so I don't. What the hell?
Okay.
I'll
So,
try it for the best.
Topic number 2.
news topic number 2. Let's keep this train on the rails.
Sony is reportedly battling to keep PlayStation 5 prices down. So there's been a lot of talk about what this next gen's going to cost. And now, because of some of the parts that are required for these new systems being just hogged by cell phone manufacturers, there's big concerns that the PS5 could have a build cost of $450.
Woo.
So, to give you an example, the market estimate of $381 was the build cost for the PS4, which sold for $399. Okay. So no, barely any profit. Which we all know they don't sell the systems for profit. It's all on the software side and everything that they're making their money. But they also don't like to take a loss, especially right out the gate on a brand new device, which is now pushing people to believe that we're looking at a $500 PS5.
Which, I mean, we got Mr. Frugal over here. I mean, are you dropping 500 bones on a PS5?
I mean, he didn't drop anything on a PS4.
Yeah, you're right. I was waiting to be able to give me one. So, am I dropping $500 on a PlayStation 5? Not at launch.
Right.
Like I can't
That's because you're
imagine.
buying an Xbox.
That's because I'm being given an Xbox
Oh,
as
that's
the
right.
butter boy.
That's right. I
think you're
forgot. We
trying to
made
go
that
back
deal.
on the deal.
We made that deal.
So, at that price point, I'm not rushing out to buy one, especially because typically at launch, there's often bugs in systems, the limited library of games. So unless there was one game that I'm like, oh man, I need to play the PlayStation 5 the month it comes out, I would probably be more likely to wait at least a year on the PlayStation 5. But again, if they come out with some insane feature, maybe, and the fact that it's going to be back, fingers crossed, going to be backwards compatible so I can continue to enjoy the library of games I have, that's more enticing. But still, $500 on a game system is not something I'm in a rush to spend.
But then there's also this conversation, like a lot of these titles are going to be out for the PS4 as well, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, for someone like me, and I think someone like you, I'm just going to play the game, the PS4 version of it,
Well,
and
I
I
think-
might wait a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's going to be different with graphics and whatnot, but
I think
if I'm looking
games-
for gameplay,
I think games like Godfall, for example, if E3 gets here and Godfall really shows us that there's this cooperative loot slasher, which is different than anything that we've recently had, and it looks amazing, that's that type of game that's like, okay, that's going to drive the PS5 because it's not going to be available on the PS4. but we haven't seen anything else slated for launch that's like, oh, I need a PS5 right now, because we're already going to be playing Last of Us 2. We haven't heard a lick of a new God of War or next Spider-Man or whatever. Any of that stuff is still too far out. So the only thing that's really floating around that I can think of that is important to me would be Horizon Zero Dawn, a sequel.
Yeah.
Like if that was a launch title, that would motivate me to buy a PS5 day one. But we don't know. And the fact that Sony is... We're on the verge of learning more about the PS5. According to them, the website went live. They're throwing little hints out here and there, but we still don't know exactly when we're going to find out. It could be tomorrow. It could be another couple weeks. But to me, they have the problem of everyone says I'm a PlayStation fanboy because of their exclusives. You just got done playing Uncharted. You've been playing their exclusives.
I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now.
Right, and you like them. So it's an advantage for them, absolutely. But it's also a disadvantage when you start to get to that point. Like, well, are they going to be ready for the PS5? Are they going to have something at the beginning for the PS5? And if they do, is it enough to keep people on board? When, like you said, you could just enjoy your PS4 for a little bit longer.
Yeah, and right now they haven't really showed us anything that makes it feel like it's going to be worth this $450.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming they're going to have something great, but then they also have the competition with Xbox coming out at the same time.
Right.
So are they going to be able to offer something better than Microsoft to convince someone to want to go out and spend that? And then you don't hear Microsoft talking about this right now. So.
Well, yeah, and Microsoft actually came out they were a little more transparent, saying that they will not have an exclusive on the Xbox Series X until 2022.
Okay.
2 years into the system, because they don't want to fragment their player base. So Halo Infinite will come out will be a launch title for the Xbox Series X, but it will also be playable on the Xbox One. I think it's a genius move. I think initial sales could be affected by it, but here's the bottom line. Yeah, you can play it on either one. But if I go look at an Xbox Series X and you show me Halo and it looks way better, I mean, that's what's going to sell me. Me as more of a hardcore gamer, I'm going to want that system. Now, a casual gamer, they might say, yeah, screw it, I'm going to wait. Oh. But, time will tell. So far, Microsoft hasn't seemed to really be making mistakes in the last couple of years. We've talked about this. So, agree or disagree about this particular choice, they haven't really swung and missed recently. So, I'm leaning towards the side of Phil and his team know what they're doing. And they understand that this world is really turning into this cross-play, open world, no walls. Let people play your software where they want to play your software, and benefit from it. And that's where we see Xbox sharing with Nintendo, sharing with PlayStation, and obviously themselves with Windows computer systems and their Xbox.
Yeah, you guys have talked about it on the show before. Sony's got kind of this smugness about them. And I don't know. They are not setting themselves up for anything good. People say that any news is good news for publicity, but this is not good news for them. This is not what anybody wants to hear, fanboys or anyone else.
Now, what's your opinion on the fact that they're holding price point right now, and they say that even if they announce the PS5 tomorrow, they may not announce the price point because they want to wait and see? And reports have come out as they want to basically play the card where they want Xbox to show their hand,
exactly,
and then they react. And that's not Sony's. Generally, that's not how Sony does things. To me, it's a sign of weakness to me.
Yeah, they're acting like their back's up against the wall.
Yeah, they're scared. They don't want to react and then be wrong.
Yep.
And for me, if with these rumors coming out that your device is $450 and that your price point might be $500 retail, and maybe you're afraid to say that because then if all of a sudden that Microsoft comes out and says our system's $399.99, right? And we literally flip roles like last gen when PlayStation 4 did that to Xbox, they're gonna go, all right. They're waiting for Microsoft to do that so they can go, cool, we're gonna take a loss on the system. It's okay.
But even if you said something like that, Like, if Xbox says $399 and they're already saying that $450 is going to be at cost, Sony's got to be shitting their pants at that point, right? Like you can lose or break even, but to be down 50 a unit, fuck that.
Yeah, 50 a unit is almost. I would think it's too much, but still, like, if they're thinking, do we sell it at 450 or do we sell it at 500? You know, like maybe at that point when they say, okay, we're 450, but now rumors that came out today, and we don't have them right in front of us, but rumors came out today that the PS5 is slightly more powerful, according to these spec rumors that leaked, at like 12.6 teraflops versus 12.1 on the Xbox. So now can you warrant the $50 difference because you're slightly ahead? You know, maybe that's what they're waiting for. They want the $500 price tag, but they're not sure they can get away with it.
You know what they could potentially do? $449.99, bundle in a legit game. Like that would offset the cost a little bit if you had a killer app. If there was the game that you knew everyone wanted to buy at the launch of the PlayStation 5, bundle it in, work out like a DLC package or a way to monetize it in another way, and then that makes it kind of look like, oh well, I was probably going to buy this game for $60 anyway, and I'm getting it bundled in now. That could actually be a way that they could still come out the gate and have a nice package that doesn't seem like you're getting overcharged.
They should throw a VR unit right in there.
So that's another talk, is that they've already confirmed that the original VR unit is going to be compatible with the PS5, but that they're working on a second. So now you're talking about a $500 system that maybe a year down the road also gets a $500, $400 headset add-on.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about almost $1,000 invested in the PlayStation platform. It's starting to get tough at that point because you can start getting into PC gaming. We were talking about it today that NVIDIA said laptops are going to beat both the PS5. RTX laptops are going to beat both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X this generation. They're going to be the most popular gaming platform, and that I had a really good response to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be $500 for that laptop.
Yeah, you asked me, is this laptop gonna be $500? And I'm like, no, it's not. It's
then that's the end of the conversation.
It's gonna be $1,200 to $1,600 for that laptop, and then all of a sudden, a $500 system looks like a deal.
Yeah.
So how's that laptop gonna, and so, but now all of a sudden you're talking PS5. It's like, well, I'm $1,000 into it now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lot closer to one of those laptops now. Yeah,
but buying VR headset is for suckers.
That's a whole nother conversation. The
Beat Saber.
So, please don't touch me.
Too late.
Is his time up yet? No.
But here's the thing.
Why is this so hot? This is like covering my face. Can you see me?
We wanted your face covered.
Yeah,
Stop asking so many questions. We ask the questions here on our show. Jeez.
I have a question for you.
Shit and die.
What the hell? You bring in Chops to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog? Who's a co-host of the Last Action podcast talking about movies here? I saw the movie.
No one ever
said you.
I know LPJ's on that show. Is there somebody else on that show?
Oh, Hovercraft Joe.
Oh, that's
I love
right.
Hovercraft
yeah,
Joe.
where is he at? We could ask him about Sonic.
I'm gonna burn this place fucking down to the wall right now.
Listen,
someone give me a match. Does that fireplace work over there?
Hey, Sphinx. Sphinx.
Where's Craig? Where's Craig when I need something to get lit up?
I'm on a video game podcast. That doesn't mean I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, that's true.
No one ever asked my opinion. So back on track.
Sorry.
Back on track. The PS3 launched at a $500 and $600 price point.
Right.
I remember that. We all worked at Best Buy together.
Worst purchase. We were there.
Yeah.
Now the thing that's very different about 2006 when that launched and now is there is a much more affordable entry into high quality gaming than there was 15 years ago when the PS3 launched. And so when you think about, $500, not that big a deal for a system. I mean, they've done it before. It's just the gaming landscape was completely different in 2006 than it is in 2020.
But even today, the Xbox One X was the elite system that was $500. And even now, you can buy them for $250 already.
Yeah.
But back when they first launched, they were a $500 system. but they were the elite system, not the launch system that then you're going to tell me in 2 years you're going to come out with a pro version.
Yeah.
Like, that's my problem here is that now we have a $500 launch system instead of a $400 launch system. So we're up $100, let's say. And then what? The pro's going to come out and be a 600. We're going to be back at 600. Like, Sony's dabbling with that dangerous zone again where if and maybe this is why they're making this move on waiting for price point is that they got burned in the past by doing this. This time around they want to try to do it again, but this time they want to let Microsoft go first. The interesting part is if you're going to sit there and say we're going to wait for Microsoft, what stops Microsoft from saying, "Cool, we're going to wait too. Yeah. We don't have to worry about it. We're going to wait till E3."
Well, and then a lot of this could even blow over for all we know. You know, they're saying a lot of the reason why the price might be shooting up is because of this coronavirus bullshit and that, 80 million people. Good Lord, get me out of here. And like 80 million Chinese aren't working right now. Like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to die. There's that side of it as well.
They're talking about delays for that for sure. Yeah. I mean, the Switch manufacturing impacted. Everything's being impacted.
Oh, sorry.
But you also have to talk about the RAM shortages and solid state storage shortages because of the 5G phone manufacturing. All this big deal with the 5G phones that are being manufactured at huge numbers is causing a big issue with getting those pieces to actually even make the devices.
Suckers, I have a 6G phone. It's the greatest ever.
Get out of here.
No, I do. It's 6.
I did read this time of
You mean 6 gigabytes of storage? It's really old.
Megabytes, actually.
This time of new generations are always exciting, but I also hate all the bullshit articles that you see popping up. Yeah. So it's like, Sony's in trouble because of this, and then the next day Xbox is fucked because of this, and then the next day it's like Xbox has already won the war, and then the following day
Sony gets ass raped by PlayStation, but they're the same company, which doesn't make any sense.
But they like aggressive. They like to do that. That's Sphinx for you, right? But no, seriously, the last part of this was I read an article today that was talking about they were like 5G's here, but 6G is gonna be so much better, right. And I'm like, really? Really? Is this the article? We're gonna just jump to the next one. We don't even have 5G yet, people. Like, I don't know anybody that has a 5G phone currently.
I have a 6, so I can't tell you. I skipped 5. And we're at the 6.
Thank you for being on the show. That's the hand I wipe my nose on. So just so you know,
that's great.
You're doomed.
That's great. I am gonna say, in a little bit of seriousness, guys, it's been a pleasure being a part of the team.
What did I say about touching me?
Last 18 months or so.
Yeah.
I got back into gaming because of you guys, and it's been fantastic. And I love playing with the games, love playing with you guys. I love having all this great, glamorous. Oh my God!
For anyone listening to the audio podcast, Craig WK is here, and he just murdered the Sphinx.
That was well done, sir.
I've always had love in my heart for Craig, and it's now
our savior.
It's now expanding because the Sphinx is dead. Sphinx, let's give it a round of Last Action Podcast. New episodes Monday, GameZillaMedia.com. Please don't touch that microphone. It's making bad noises. Also available Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn. Anywhere you listen to the GameZilla Podcast, you can listen to the Sphinx talk about action movies with LPJ and Hovercraft Joe. It's a great time.
But right now we have Craig WK with us.
Yeah, he's dead. Sphinx is dead now.
Hi.
The coronavirus got him, a.k.a. Craig.
Oh, man.
Craig WK from Noobs and Dragons, The Legend of Retro, and Noiseland Arcade.
All 3.
Is there anything you don't do?
This show for now.
For now.
Oh.
Yep. I think he's got it.
Oh, hey, Player One Mickey, what's up?
Oh, hey. Need a video audio guy, right? I'm just when you take over, I got you.
All right, so this is the news. We're going to keep things rolling. We're glad that Craig's here for our
Topic
300th
number 3
episode celebration.
Topic number 3. Nintendo Switch Online is failing fans. Period. That's it.
Well, you see, Nintendo has this issue. They really, really despise money.
Like, I don't know if you guys know this. They just, they hate making money. They hate gaining any wealth.
Yeah.
They just want to go bankrupt and quit, but they can't.
Right, yeah. And
It's
they're
a shame.
really
It's
cool.
called falling into your own success, despite your best efforts.
And they're really cool with letting other people, like, you know, kind of have some creative freedom with maybe something that might be close to their IP creation. You know, like someone on Etsy that's 3D printing a Bulbasaur. They're not going to shut that person down.
No, that's crazy talk.
They're not worried about making pennies, but.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, Nintendo Switch Online was always going to be playing catch-up, launching years after competing online services from Xbox and PlayStation, while having to convince gamers to start paying for online capability they had previously been getting for free on the Nintendo Switch. It was an uphill battle from start. Even now, it's clear there's room for improvement. So, the issue here is we didn't have to pay for any service when we first got our Switch. Now, mind you, we also didn't get some of the perks that we now have.
Wait. We're on camera. Can you at least respectfully put the air quotes up and say perks?
Perks.
Thank you.
And
That made me
that's
feel
where the problem starts to fall into with this topic is we don't really actually know if we're going to get perks or not month to month on a service that we technically pay for monthly. Even if you buy it out a year, I mean, it's still the idea is that you're paying for something monthly, yet we don't know if we're going to get an addition to the NES catalog, the SNES catalog, and focusing on these retro additions to a library that feels pretty disappointing when you look at where we're at right now today, comparing it to some of the Wii shops or the 3DS shops and things like that.
Yeah, so the weird thing, though, is that they had monthly games coming out. They were giving us, like, games monthly, and then Nintendo was like, here's Super Nintendo, and we were like, okay, Super Nintendo's kind of cool, and they're like, by the way, we're not giving you any schedule moving forward.
Right.
We're just going to drop them when we drop them.
Yeah.
That was it.
Right.
That was all.
So that's really where this went sideways because we're like, well, wait a minute. We're paying you for this service.
Yeah.
What do you mean you're going to show up and cut my grass when you feel like it? Like I pay for a weekly service or whatever it is.
No. We'll cut it, whenever. I mean, we're busy.
No, I like Nintendo's tactics. Nintendo is like me. Nintendo would be like, hey, friends, show up to my podcast and give me your Monday evening and then yell at you. That's the kind of people that Nintendo is, and I can relate. I'm Nintendo.
When you said relate, I assumed you were going to be like, yeah, I can totally relate. I'll make you a new opening, and then it'll take 11 months.
Absolutely. You'll get it when you get it.
So, yeah, we can compare this to, say, Sony right now, where you're going to be getting your 2 games for free, and all of a sudden, now we're getting a VR game included in that.
2 games for free? What is Sony made of money?
And then they're
Nintendo can't do that.
And then they're adding that VR game, and then Xbox will sit there and give you like 4 games. You get 2 in this first half of the month, and 2 more in the second half of the month. Yet Nintendo can't even just come up and say, "Hey, we're going to give you 1 game." Like, I don't care what it is, just have a schedule for me, please.
Two games that are 30 years old. Can't do it. It's too much work, man.
Well, if I had to wager a guess, because we saw what everyone actually wants from Nintendo with the Wii. We had the Virtual Console, and that's the way everyone wants it, just to buy what they want and have a library of these old games.
I do not want that.
A lot of people do.
Thank you.
Not everybody, but a fair amount of people just want to be able to get the games they want and then have them. And not have to lose them when Nintendo's like, all right, Switch is gone, let's move on to a new system, and then it craps out. But I think if I had to wager a guess, I think with the Wii, they probably made a fair amount of money because I think around that time, a lot of older game companies or game companies that had older games were probably like, oh, what, people want Super C? Nobody wants that. Yeah, here's some licensing. We won't take that much from you. And then Nintendo made a fair amount of money, and so now we have all these companies that are like, oh, no, like, we're not going to give you these games on your service. We're just going to sell them in a package. Here's the Contra Mega Collection or whatever. Here's, a Sega Genesis collection. I think that with all these game companies realizing that there's money in retro gaming, that they're not willing to do business with, like, Nintendo and stuff to get a hold of the games to be able to slap them on their service. Now, don't be wrong. Nintendo should still be doing what they can and pulling something out, whether it's, newer games or, classic games they have access to. But I think that, with with the way things are going and that other companies can make money off it, they're not going to get as much licensing stuff.
Well, I think you nailed it with newer games. They have a big enough library now with plenty of games that just the eShop alone, just the store alone is so buried in games. You're telling me you can't go out there and find an indie company that would like to be part of this program so that they get some exposure? I mean, how many times have we gone on to the sale and been like, oh, whoa, what's this? Some lumberjack game for 19 cents.
Timberman Verse
for 9 cents. I'm going to buy it. That's literally what they have to do to get attention on the eShop.
Oh, yeah.
So, a game like it could be as simple as that. I mean, not every month on PlayStation or Xbox is it a home run, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
Sometimes it's a bunt, but at least they're trying to get on base.
Right. So
Nintendo doesn't even take the field most months.
Yeah, I mean there are months that I don't download any of those games because I'm like I will never play them, and so to me it's I paid for a month that was useless to me, but I still did I still I had that acknowledgement. I'm like, this is what I was offered. No thanks. I'll see what you got next month. Nintendo's like, fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're basically looking at you like, hey, March and April around the corner. You don't know what you're gonna get. Suck it. That's where we're at right now.
Because they got moxie. They got balls. They're not soft like these other companies that pander to their players.
We know.
Not Nintendo.
We know Nintendo has balls. We know that already. We know that they just do what they want to do. But this is just
balls of steel.
I don't know. For me, I look at. I guess here's the point I'm making. If my Nintendo Online subscription was to end tomorrow, I don't know I would actually worry about re-upping it.
No, I wouldn't blame you in the least.
Because now that I've paid for the year or whatever that I had, it was did I really take any advantage at all other than maybe a cloud save because I bought different Switches and so I was thankful I could move my stuff around. That's about it. If I really wanted to, I could just do that with a memory card.
I really love retro gaming, but even I don't have much of a use for the Switches, Nintendo and Super Nintendo games. I mean, the fancy cheat versions of some of the Nintendo games are kind of fun and interesting, but they're not needed. I don't, it's not like I was like, oh, I'm signing up for Nintendo Online to get a hold of a Metroid at the end of the game. It's like, I don't need that.
So then here's the question, because I think out of the three of us, then I think Deadite probably feels the most value out of it because I do catch you playing that library more often than other people.
Yeah, a lot of times when I have a couple minutes to kill, I'll fire up Nintendo or Super Nintendo and just play a few minutes of something classic, kind of as a palate cleanser. And like you mentioned, everyone wants the eShop. I would hardly buy games on the eShop because I'm so cheap. So if I already feel obligated to have this subscription that I have a family plan with multiple people on it, so I'm paying $35 a year, and it's one of those things where I would rather just get a library of games that opposed to $5 here, $10 here, $8 there for the games. Because you look at my 3DS, I barely have any games downloaded on it because I don't want to pay $5 or $8 for those.
My comment about the eShop was what the eShop was on those other platforms compared to this pathetic library that we have in our in Nintendo Switch Online. It needs to be better. That library has to be better. And even though I don't turn to it very often, I feel like I've completely lost interest because the last couple random months that they gave us a couple games here and there, they were
4 games.
They were games that where I was like, I don't give two shits about any of these. What are these? So there's some big things if tomorrow Nintendo was like, hey, surprise, you are getting games in March and one of them is Turtles in Time. At lunchtime, you and I be playing a ton of it.
Yeah.
So it's stuff
Get some licensed games. We're missing out on so many great licensed games.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that licensing can be worked out for NBA Jam because Arcade 1-Up is putting out a Jam tournament and hang time cabinet. So that means Nintendo could arrange for the proper licensing. There'll be a few players that get left out. But something like that could be worked out where that could be released.
And that'd be another one that would draw me.
Yeah. There is ways to get past some of the stuff. Yeah, we know Mega Man comes in all these different collections, but work something out with Capcom to put Mega Man 1 in there. You know what I mean? Like get some of those games that are iconic third-party games from the Nintendo and Super Nintendo era, and let us be excited about those instead of some of these like third-party games you're kind of like, I didn't want to pay that 30 years ago, and I don't want to play it now.
Well, I almost wonder if Nintendo is going to do what a lot of these other companies have done and switch over to like, hey, here's a Super Mario collection. It's got 1, 2, 3 USA. Here's, the Mario All-Stars version.
I hope not.
I can almost see it happening because, they're not doing anything with those old games except for slapping them on the Nintendo Online. But even then, they're just slowly trickling them in.
The problem I have with that then is that you're muddying the water even more as Nintendo. It's like when you go look at the solution for PlayStation, like here's a couple free games. You can go buy games, right? Just physical or digital. Here's PlayStation Now, which is our streaming service. Go over to Xbox. You can buy a game. Here's your Xbox Gold games every month, and here's xCloud. It's clean. You have your 3 avenues, you maybe 4. If you want to throw in VR and you want to throw in something else, but I don't want to see Nintendo be like, well, you can get these free here, but then here's a $30 pack, and if you buy the pack, then you get lost levels over here where you don't get. That's not on the free side, and it's just like for me it gets back into that whole like you just feel greedy at this point, and I'm not going to sit there and buy it all 16 different ways when I wanted the. Originally, I wanted the eShop. I told you, give me in the beginning. You were right. I want the eShop. I'll buy the games. I'll rebuy the games again that were on my 3DS, that were on my Wii. That were, I'll get my Metroids. I'll get those games I want, and I'll be done. I was willing to do that. Now you instead of giving me the eShop, you said you were going to give me Nintendo Switch Online. And there's going to be this growing library that I would have access to. It would have online multiplayer functionality for old games. It would have these new unique things, like you're talking about some random special versions of the game coming out. They've all been pretty lackluster to me. It's just been like, okay, nothing really like wowed me where it's like, oh, I'm going to go play golf online with Deadite here because you couldn't do that back in 1980 whatever. But to me, they have to do better. I like the idea that they branch off. It's like keep growing your retro library, and if you want to be sporadic and doing what you're doing, fine. But like all of a sudden, let's get the indies involved.
Let's not forget how much hope we had when they gave us Tetris 99.
Yeah,
they came out with that. Again, Tetris. It's familiar. It's in a sense on brand with the history of Nintendo, but it was a new game. It was an evolution. It's a game that's now become available in other places, but it was first exclusive to those who are Nintendo members. It would be really cool if they worked out something with some indie companies, because there's so many great indie games on the Switch, to do like hey, you're a Nintendo Online member. Here's your free indie highlight of the month. Or even, they talked about us getting discounts as part of the system. Yep. What if you told me, hey, for this month, you can get Celeste for $5, which is 25% of its regular cost. Which is a good, like, I would bite on things like that, but the offers have been, you can buy these controllers no one wants, but you have to mail in, you have to buy them online. Like those aren't the deals that I want. I want, like PlayStation Plus. When I'm a PlayStation Plus member, I often get additional discounts on top of sales. Why am I not getting that in the Nintendo eShop? Mm-hmm. When Mario Tennis goes on sale for $40, why am I not getting an extra 25 to 30% off that to have it really at a very nice price that would be below retail anywhere? Why am I not getting deals like that?
And Xbox does it. I mean, and so does Sony, where if you're already a member, you can go look and be like, oh, you're a PS Plus member or you're an Xbox Gold member, here's an additional discount on stuff. Or especially like, hey, you're an Xbox Game Pass owner, you got Forza for free, all the DLC is discounted. So I bought it all because it was discounted, and I wanted it because I enjoyed the game, which was free-ish.
Yeah, I mean the when it comes to the Switch games, I mean, yeah, Nintendo doesn't want to lose money, but if it's a digital copy for their online-only members, what is Nintendo really losing? They probably weren't going to buy the game unless it was that price anyway.
Well, especially if we're talking about an indie game that they didn't make.
Well, yeah, that alone, let alone the game. Like, Breath of the Wild is an amazing game, and most everyone already owns it. But I think anyone who is going to buy it isn't going to buy it unless it's dirt cheap. So make it dirt cheap to the Nintendo Online, people. Yeah, they might not sell a ton of them that way, but at the very least, hey, these people weren't going to buy it anyway. Now they did because we lowered it enough, and it's a digital copy. What is it putting us out? Next to nothing.
Yeah. I mean, Xbox gives you all first-party games if you're a Game Pass owner. I mean, that's that costs a lot more than Nintendo Switch Online.
Sure.
So I'm not saying do exactly that, but something like that, where could you imagine Breath of the Wild, or like picking like every year at the end of the year or something, you pick your top 3 games that perform that year. Those top 3 games for Nintendo Switch Online members are discounted around the holiday or something.
Yeah, like a deep discount, or September, because it launched in September. So every year in September, what if you got a voucher every September to get a top tier Nintendo game for $20?
Yeah.
Like a great price, a really reasonable price to pay, because we know Nintendo doesn't want to deeply discount their marquee games because they're all about maintaining value, and it economically makes sense to elevate your first party stuff and keep it there, because so often I talk about like there's no need to buy games on launch day other than Nintendo games because their value stays.
Yeah.
And I understand Nintendo wanting to keep that perception and keep that value, but if I knew that once a year I could cash in a part of my Nintendo membership to get a $20, basically a $40 discount on a Nintendo game, I'd be so excited, and I would feel so much value in the, again, like I said, I have a family plan. I have my sister, Bax, my wife, and I all on a family plan. I pay $35 a year for that. Instantly, if I'm getting a $40 discount on a game that maybe I waited a little bit to buy, I would feel so much value in that.
Yeah.
And I don't feel the value in Nintendo Switch Online right now. Like, I have a membership to the movie theater by my house. I do the math. I buy $15 for that membership. Literally within 5 weeks of buying that membership, I've already paid for it. I never feel that way with Nintendo Switch Online. I've never felt like I got even $35 is not a lot of money for a year of a service. I've never felt like I got the value out of it.
Yeah, no, I've certainly not gotten the value. I don't play the Nintendo games online that much. I just don't have that much time. And when it comes to retro gaming, I'm not going to jump to the Switch when I have more stuff available through other avenues, like, Nintendo, Super Nintendo Classics, and hacking.
The one thing I will say about
what?
Nintendo Online, Super Nintendo, and NES Online has saved me at this point. It has saved me what? $140 ish, because I didn't buy the Super NES Classic or the NES Classic because they were available here. And I will say this is a really big novelty for people that come to my house who aren't current gamers and don't play Switch. They come over. I'm like, hey, you want to play Super Mario? And I pull up the menu and they see all the old games. And it is really exciting for people that are much more casual gamers or not plugged into the Nintendo ecosystem currently. And like, that's a little bit of value. It's nice for casual stuff for hosting when I have friends over that aren't as hardcore of gamers. But again, still, outside the joke of me not buying the classics because of this, which is true, it's still not a great value. It's a letdown. To where we started the conversation at, it's a letdown.
Yeah, pretty much. It's, pretty big letdown.
Craig, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. Congratulations on episode 300.
I'm also going to have to ask you not to touch me. Thank you. I like that better. I like the frightening pointing.
It's happening. He's about to. Oh.
Yeah, don't play games with me. I'm gross. I'll lick your hand. I don't care.
Well, sure. I'll wipe it off on your hand, too.
You have the coronavirus now, and I probably have the flu.
It's always a pleasure,
If
Craig
you're lucky.
WK.
If I'm lucky.
All right.
Again, Craig, Legend of Retro, Noiseland Arcade, and Noobs and Dragons available everywhere you can listen to the GameZilla podcast.
All right.
Bring in our next guest. Bring him out. Play the Metroid Monday for him because he's so well dressed today. Also,
Good shirt.
from the Legend of Retro podcast, a guy who, am I correct to say, you were one of the original additions to the team? You were a top draft pick to the GameZilla family.
Top draft pick.
Because For people that don't know, the Legend of Retro started off as like a segment / second half of the GameZilla podcast. And then we attempted to try and do both shows, but it was just way too much. And honestly, we're like, we need to bring in someone who's much smarter than us that we can pawn chops off on.
Agreed.
And here's Xander, a guy who's passionate about retro games and is smart.
I mean, I got stuck with chops, so I can't be that smart.
Sucker!
Sucker! Host a show with chops. I was like, okay.
And he's tall enough to see over the mic. He looks
true.
perfect on this end.
I purposely sat up after I saw Craig like this the entire time. So I was like, let people see me, you know?
Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on out. We have a news topic for you. Topic number 4.
Number 4.
Microsoft and Samsung partner on xCloud-based game streaming. So,
I can dig it.
What kind of phone do you have, Xander?
I had an iPhone.
Well, there's no good for you.
doesn't really
Wrap
help
it
me.
up. Thanks. This has been this topic.
Well, remember when he said I was smart?
no, but this is interesting right after Samsung just launched its Galaxy S20, which has a 148 megapixel camera, I believe. Something like that. Did you know that?
Why?
Yeah,
Why?
That was my
Someone
question.
answer that for me. Why would you need a camera with 100 and how many megapixels?
I was told 148. I thought it was 108, and then I was corrected as 148. Am I accurate there, Miggy?
You are accurate.
My God.
Okay, Grim's right. Grim verbally tore me down in a text message today for talking about how cool SLR cameras are. Like, they take great pictures. You're like, but yeah, but phones are way better. As a professional photographer is telling me this. And I was like, oh, you're right. I guess I'm an idiot. Now that you say that there's over 100 megapixels in a phone, I guess I should just throw the new camera I bought right in the trash.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm an idiot for buying it.
But don't do that. Anyways.
You still need to maintain that look of professionalism.
Yeah.
You're right.
You can't
you're
show
right.
up to a photo shoot like, "But here's my phone, guy." And
Right. Yeah. That's.
Okay. I paid you for this.
You sure did, idiot.
But yeah, so the S20 and the Galaxy Flip smartphone came out yesterday, and the company's also broadened its Microsoft partnership at the same time. Samsung and Microsoft are teaming up on a cloud-based game streaming service, and it likely will involve the xCloud appearing on Samsung devices in the future. So this, it's an Android platform that Samsung uses. So to me, I only thought of this one way, is that Samsung is going to bloatware Microsoft product now on top of their Samsung bloatware.
Oh, jeez.
So you're going to get the xCloud or the Xbox experience, whatever we want to call it right now.
If you can find it.
That comes shipped, right. They come, you just got to, what's the horrible assistant on the Samsung called?
Bixby? Is that a Bixby?
Bixby.
You have to do a Bing search.
Yeah. You got to do a Bing search to activate your
Not
activate your Bixby. Then you got to squeeze the phone 3 times and Xbox launches.
Right.
So, anyways, I think this is kind of like a little bit of an overreaction in the sense of if you want to play Steam or you want to play PlayStation Now or you want to play whatever, Stadia or whatever, you're going to be able to go to the Google Store and just download the supportive app on any Android phone as long as it's Android supported, which, again, Stadia is, and PlayStation Now is supposed to be, and Amazon's, whatever Amazon's version is coming out is supposed to be. So how special can this be for Samsung devices where Microsoft's going to give you this Xbox app? Is it just literally going to be an app that's like locked into the phone and it's the same app that I could download on my Pixel? Or is there going to be something special about it? And what could it be that would make it special besides some of the first 5G phones coming out? That really seems like it's it for me.
Yeah, to me it seems like you said, like if you just download the app on my other phone
Right.
and still have the same thing. But hey, at least Microsoft and Samsung were shaking hands. Right?
That's what it is to me. I first read this and was kind of like excited about it, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. I'm like thinking about my Pixel, and I'm like, I downloaded everything. I got xCloud on my Pixel. I have PlayStation apps. I have Steam apps. Hell, I even have Stadia on there just because I'm curious, even though it's it's a dumpster fire. So, yeah, I know.
I'm going to take your phone away.
You just want to be able to sell it later on, like people did with PT and their PlayStation 4s.
Yeah,
when
smart.
Stadia is just completely gone, you're like, I got this
That's
sweet
a good
Pixel.
point.
that
Yeah, I
has the
didn't think
Stadia
about
app.
that. That's a good
People
point.
selling Flappy Bird, man.
I'm going to have to keep an eye out on eBay for that one. Man. But yeah, I don't know. Like, is there anything else, anything that you can think of that I'm missing here that like Phil Spencer and Samsung here are gonna blow the doors off of us here with this collaboration?
It very well may be just like for presentation's sake. Like people who are in the know are like, okay, cool, I can just download this on my phone, as opposed to people who are like, oh, Samsung and Xbox, that I'll have to buy a Samsung phone, not realizing they can do it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you will get the suckers that just go, oh, that's the Xbox phone, and they'll get it. But I mean, and they could craft a unique experience where maybe there's some added benefit, or just it runs best on Samsung or whatever. But you know, the big piece being right now, if I want to go get a 5G phone and start using xCloud on it, my options are very slim. It's probably going to land on a Samsung at the moment. But come 6 months down the road, the competition will be much, broader, and so will we care as much. The other thing we could see is, hey, get a Samsung phone.
I'll get some Xbox Live.
There you go, exactly. Hey, you buy a Samsung, you get a year Game Pass.
Yeah.
Something like that could happen. Then there's your value, because now you're just getting the services for free because you signed a 2-year contract with Verizon or whatever.
Game Pass Ultimate. Only on Samsung phones.
Only on Samsung phones.
Well, here's another option. Even opposed to buy a Samsung, get a year of Game Pass included, you could very much see buy a Samsung phone with Game Pass Lite integration. You buy a Samsung, and guess what? You have access to just a few games you can play over xCloud. You get the Master Chief Collection and, a couple other games. Maybe it's a rotating thing or something that are available and that are a tease to get you to buy xCloud. Even that would be kind of cool. Like, I know wouldn't be the coolest of all the options, but if I bought a Samsung phone and all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I can play Halo on this. Let's say I've been out of gaming for a minute, and all of a sudden I'm firing up, and I have a controller hooked up. Like, oh wow, this is a really cool gaming experience. Yeah, okay, I'll pay to unlock these other 150 video games.
Yeah, I think about it in the sense of when Samsung launched and collaborated with Fortnite. It was, you got a custom skin that you couldn't get unless you bought the phone, and then you got V-Bucks, you got currency. And so that was basically it. Fortnite was one of the Samsung phone was one of the first places you could play it on mobile, and then it shortly kind of opened up from there to other places. And then again, you got the skin and and the V-Bucks. So it could be that bundle of digital goods, and then maybe some services, or a sample of the services. Here's 90 days, and that way hopefully it hooks you, and then you start paying.
Yeah,
that's the advantage on the Microsoft side. I don't know. It's weird, though.
It could even just be, like, getting ahead, like you guys were talking with Sony earlier. Like, they're just trying to get their name out there. Like, hey, we're partnering with phones. Yeah. Sony's not doing that.
Well, and, that was my next thought was...
Unless you buy the Sony Xperia, and then...
right, yeah.
The little PlayStation controller phone,
That was my next thought, though, was the 5G network is such, everyone's talking about it, and it's the future of being able to stream games to their full potential and get your 4K and all that type of stuff, right? Right now we're in a world where 5G is not broadly available. You don't have a ton of devices that support it. So just like we're talking about these guys trying to get their cloud system out there, xCloud wants to be successful out the gate. Stadia tried to be first and just start to grab the market before anybody else could get out. It didn't work out for them, but still, everybody's trying to position themselves right now into what we think is the next war of gaming, which is games as a service, and you're not actually buying games anymore. You're just paying a subscription, and you're getting access to a library. And so this is Microsoft starting to play that game, and they've positioned xCloud in a way. Now they're trying to position Samsung, which is, if you're going to position a company other than Apple that make mobile devices, it's Samsung. So like they're grabbing, one of the largest manufacturers of these devices that they need for xCloud to be successful, and they're trying to create some sort of partnership where it gains them an advantage over everybody else. So I get it from that stance, and I'm interested to see maybe what we're going to find out more come probably around E3 time again. I know they showed off the new Forza Street game, which looks like a giant microtransaction shit show.
About to make you go broke because you a Forza boy.
Yeah, I read it right away. I was like, oh man, this is a Forza game on the phone. And then I went to like the Android store, and they're like, oh, we just pre-register to find out when it's available. And I was like, oh. And then I looked at some of the screenshots. I was like, yeah, I unpre-registered after I looked at the screenshots. I was like, I don't think this is what I want. But yeah, I mean, what do you think of the idea of xCloud, Stadia, this idea of streaming services and gaming? Is this something that you would be interested in, or are you turned off by it?
As someone who stays at home mostly,
Yeah.
that doesn't bother. Like, I'm not that invested in it. Like, I
Right.
saw Miggy playing with his Xbox. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then I was like, I've got my Switch though. Like,
Right.
I'm not the market for it because I've already got everything else. So
Okay,
it's not
that's
that
fair.
big of a deal for me. As someone, I'm building a new PC, so I'm kind of excited for that integration of the Game Pass Ultimate having access to a whole bunch of games right off the bat. But as far as like playing on the go,
Yeah, not really your thing. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I've used xCloud. I've talked positively about it, but as far as I think even I have kind of cooled off from it, where Player One Miggy, I think he's playing right now instead of working. I'm kidding, man. But anyways, recently you've been really addicted to it right now. So what is your thoughts on Samsung, Microsoft, and potentially this next generation of network meets next generation of gaming partnering up? Because you don't own a Samsung right now. What did you tell me earlier?
No, I said I was thinking about getting the Note, but
Which is what?
what's that?
Who makes it?
Samsung.
Okay.
Well, I was little bit of history. I was a Samsung guy.
Yeah.
I had the Note 10 previously and loved it, and just switched over to the OnePlus 7 Pro just because. And this has been a beast of a phone. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this partnership is going to go with Samsung and Xbox. I think it was a great move. Other than kind of segregating the market and maybe partner up with maybe Google Pixel. But, I think Samsung being a bigger name and getting the phones out in front of people, my only concern is going to be the price tag of the phone. Because there is no low end for this. $1,000 or up to, I think it's like $1,400
For the S20 you're referencing right now, yeah.
Yes. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to go.
I'd imagine that Google wasn't interested in partnering, considering they're the ones that, if they have the Pixel, they want the Pixel to be the Stadia device.
Yeah, I thought they wanted to make money.
I don't know. Partnering against your own product seems kind of weird, but as far
That'd
as
be showing their fans, hey, don't invest in Stadia. We're gonna go ahead and go the Microsoft route too. Thank you for buying your founders.
we
pack.
gave it 6
Idiots.
months, guys. It didn't work out. Oh, we're sorry. Google Glass all over
We
again.
gave it an old college try. We came up a couple credits short. Thank you so much.
The next boot screen is just the Xbox logo. Like, we tried, guys. Sorry.
Watch the Stadia evolve.
It's just a shrug. You boot it up. It's just like a Google. It's like made of the word Google, but it's clearly a person shrugging.
To be fair, though, we could look at the fact that Microsoft just decided to take their Microsoft Edge and make it basically Chrome. So there you go. They took Google's Chrome and said, "Hey, our new browser is just Chrome because we give up." So then maybe this is Google paying them back, saying, "You know what? Yeah, you can have our Pixel. We give up too.
Free skin.
We all fucked up.
Let's all
Cool.
give up together.
Yay.
It's the American way.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what they have to say. But this is that first kind of major move I think that we saw within this 5G network and the devices, and it's going to be interesting to see who else kind of starts to side with different groups. You would imagine Amazon's going to try to grab somebody and to kind of leverage, since they're seem to be kind of late to the game, right? They're going to be that last option that kind of pops up here. And we've already seen, we've seen more about the video games that are being published through Amazon than we have the platform that they're going to be playable on. So a lot to wonder about that one, if they're going to team up with a different manufacturer or what. And Apple doesn't need anybody. They got Apple Arcade, and they're doing their own thing. So, yeah. That's all I got. I don't know.
I concur.
Yep.
RIP Stadia.
But Xander, I appreciate you stopping by on the show. It's been a pleasure. I don't think the last time that we've
been a
done
minute.
it's been a minute.
You,
yeah.
sir, can touch me.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an honor right
Unlike
there.
those other filthy
I can't
jerks.
even touch him.
I can't even either.
Yeah, I'm gonna break those middle fingers off, Sphinx.
But so thanks again,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Legend of Retro. And you
Yeah.
guys have been doing a great job, and thanks for everything you've done for
Thank you.
GameZilla Media.
Absolutely. Thanks
All right.
for having me.
Yeah. Well, that's been our attack on the news. For these topics and much more, please visit GameZillaMedia.com and make sure to read the blogs, watch the videos, and check out all the other great podcasts on the network. And of course, like Legend of Retro. He's wearing a Metroid shirt. I gotta give him plenty of props. He dressed right. You got anything?
Is that all we have?
Let's do the Zilla update.
Zilla update. Okay.
Let's drop the music. Episode 300. Zilla update. Hype. Man, I'm just super glad that we finally got rid of all of our special guests.
All of them. There's definitely no one left.
It's good. Good try. The glitch. GameZilla Media's very own Italian stallion. The Prince of Pasta is in the house.
Prince of Pasta.
Glitch, also from the Legend of Retro.
Look, if you want to have a good episode of GameZilla, you got to have all 4 members.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
We realize that's the key.
We got to boost their numbers somehow.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do. We're sellouts.
Listen,
Ghostbusters.
episode 300 is clearly a desperate ratings grab. So we brought in some all stars.
Got to get the talent.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to bring the talent in. It wasn't.
This beer looks great.
Yeah, you're looking handsome.
Looking really good.
I'm glad
Well,
you're here.
welcome, buddy. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah, you can touch me too.
Anyways, Zilla update. Do we want to start with Glitch? Is Glitch ready, or do you need some time?
I just want to go before Miggy does and puts everyone to sleep with his weeby cell phone.
Get out! You're not welcome here.
But I can go first. So I'm a bit of an Xbox guy now. I used to play PlayStation 1 and 2, but when the 360 came out, that's kind of the way I went. So Deadite, I would probably say that you're the resident Borderlands guy of the community, right?
I'm pretty into it.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of other guys that are into it, but I definitely champion that horn of being a Borderlands guy.
I mean, would you say Borderlands 2 is probably in your top 20, 15 games of all time?
I'd say it's top 5.
Top 5. Yeah,
I love Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is honestly probably the biggest reason I've gotten back into gaming as a whole. When I played Borderlands 2, it was like a gamer awakening in me that I felt like I returned from a decade slumber.
Yeah. So, when Borderlands 3 got announced, it was kind of decided by the community, because Deadite is a PlayStation guy, doesn't have an Xbox One, that it was going to go PlayStation. Everyone was going to get the PlayStation version. They were all going to play that way. And honestly, I'm not much of a buy a new guy, because now with Game Pass, there's so much available there. I really haven't bought many new games anymore. But anyways, JJ, who is from CS Mots, he jumped into our Discord recently and was like, hey, I got Borderlands 3 on Xbox. Who wants to play? And I mean, I don't think anyone else in the community had the game, which I felt bad, because I've known that feeling of having a game on a different platform. Everyone's playing on PlayStation or something. So I messaged my buddy Beefhammer. So Beefhammer's a friend of mine. We go way back. He was the best man at my wedding. And I sent him a text like, hey man, I'm thinking about getting Borderlands 3. What do you think? He goes, yeah, it's a newer game. I know it's not your style. I was like, well, what are you playing? Are you playing it right now? Are you still? Because I've seen him stream it a couple times. And he goes, yeah, I'm on, off and on. I'm playing it a little bit. So I said, yeah, I don't know. I haven't decided. He goes, yeah, it's not your thing. I'd say wait till the deal comes out. That's the way you go. Give it a year or something, and then, I'll pick it up and I'll play with you again. I was like, all right, yeah, that sounds good.
I like that advice. Wait for the deal.
Right.
That's Beefhammer's a man after my own heart.
He's a
with that
very
advice.
smart man. So about 10 minutes later, I get another text from him, and he says, "And don't worry about it anyways, because I just bought it and it'll be at your house in 2 days."
Man, Beef Hammer. That's a big play.
Slick move.
That's
slick
a respectable
All right,
play.
yeah. So my gaming moment of the week. On top of that is JJ, Beef Hammer, and Testonomics. We've been playing missions and doing it the last couple Sundays. So
Nice.
I've been enjoying it. It's actually my first loot shooter because I didn't get into Destiny or anything like that. So I've been enjoying it a lot.
Which class did you pick? Which character?
I picked. I can't think of his name. The dude that has like the cloning device.
Zane.
Zane, yeah.
The operative. I also am playing Zane. I think Zane is my favorite Borderlands character I've ever played.
Nice.
Yeah, really like the dual option where you can have two different skill sets equipped and stuff. So I'm glad you're liking Borderlands. The fact that you've been getting into Borderlands over the last few weeks really bumps me out that there's not cross-play.
I know,
because
right?
I'd love to play Borderlands with you. And it's a game that I've recently got back into now that I've gotten through Star Wars and Pokemon and the Link's Awakening, the games I was playing all fall took me away from Borderlands. And the last 2 weeks I've also been able to get back into it. And man, it's wonderful. So I'm really glad that you are experiencing Borderlands, and I'm pretty sure Handsome Collection might be on Game Pass. So if you wanted to go back and try Borderlands 2 or Borderlands the pre-sequel, they're available for you. I know they were free games with gold at one point, but they might be on Game Pass.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I know
I got to when it was games with gold at one point or another, but yeah, I never got into the whole loot shooter thing.
Yeah,
it was never my style, but I'm loving it. I kind of wish I would have got into it before.
Yeah, it's a really fun game.
That's awesome. Player one, Miggy. Should we let you go?
I don't know. Should you?
I have a feeling that what you're going to say today is actually credible.
Wow.
Here, let me drop the Wii Shop music on.
Thank you.
Just get ready to turn it off. I might be wrong.
I
here.
need some love. So, as we talked about the last segment, with the with the mobile gaming, the Xbox and all that, I have been highly and extremely addicted to the xCloud. And every day at lunch, I kind of find my own secluded corner away from the rest of the germ-carrying coworkers of mine, and pop in my earbuds, don't make eye contact, and I just start gaming away. So I decided to check out Soul Calibur 6.
Say it right.
Soul Calibur 6.
That's better.
But so I've been playing that. I'm dabbling back between that and Forza, but Soul Calibur actually stuck. I was playing that hard. I started creating characters because I love you all know I love creating characters.
Obsessed.
So I made I think 3 or 4 characters before I even started jumping into fights. And just alone in the character creation, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home and play it. So I went and checked. It's on the xCloud. I was like, well, let me see if it's on Game Pass. It wasn't on Game Pass. Not on Game Pass anymore. So I was like, well, let me see how much it's going for. Saw it for $19.99. So I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. Found my local Best Buy, and surprisingly, my gamers club is still in effect. So
sorcery.
I got that on top of my my birthday coupon that they sent me. So I paid like $13 for it. So I went home, raced home Friday, popped it in, let it install. And I was tried to sync my data in from the cloud, and it told me that I couldn't import the save data in because items were missing. So I'm like, wait a minute, items missing. So I went to the marketplace and saw that there was 2 season passes. So I sat there and I was looking. I see what's in these season passes. Do I really need them? And I was looking, and I saw the content, the added characters. There was Geralt was in there, Cassandra, a bunch of other characters. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, dang, they're $30 a pop. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, what would Grim do?
No.
Buy every single one.
So I added them both to the cart and downloaded them. And
so hold on, time out.
Making I'm very disappointed.
Time out. So you got the game on a deal for how much?
For like $13.
$13, and you paid $60 for season for character pass.
Yep.
That's a grim move. That's a
no. That hurts my heart.
It hurt me too. I'm like, I just sat there like, what have I done?
I'm emotionally affected by your story.
I was emotionally affected for like 30 seconds, and then I booted the game up and jumped right back in. I created like a few more characters. Like I played Friday night. I had Grim stream going on the phone, and I had Soul Calibur going on the screen, and I think I was up till about 6 a.m. Saturday morning.
Which you never do that. You're
Never.
usually like one of the first out.
Yeah. I'm never. And this game has got me, like, once I said, okay, enough for creating characters, I jumped online and I started playing against people. And yeah, I'm like, I was getting like beat like every match I got in. I did meet up with somebody. We played back and forth for about an hour and a half, and he actually like messaged me when we got off and was like, good game, and we chatted for a minute because he did a good job making a character. It sounded just like a character from an anime, which I'm like, it was like perfect.
We've come full circle.
Well, the creation, I was respecting the creation. Okay, so so that happened, and then it happened again last night. I said I'm gonna play it for a quick minute, and next thing I know, it's like 5:30.
Now, I think the cool thing that you explained to me that I'm not used to hearing is that so Geralt from Witcher 3 is in this game, but not only is it just him, you can actually use that. You're paying $30 for these character packs or whatever,
right? And
then you can use all the assets of those characters to still create your own character. So you actually created your own Witcher character that's a female.
Yep, and then
that's pretty cool. I've never actually heard of, usually it's like, oh, you get Spawn, it's Spawn. Like you get Link, it's Link. You get Darth Vader, and locks in.
Right.
You can't take the assets and make your own character based off of them. So that's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, they let them. You can customize either the character in the game or you can create your own special character. And a lot of things that people are doing with these character creation tool is pretty cool. Like before the show started, I fought somebody that made Spawn, and it looked just like Spawn.
That's cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll probably be back on there tomorrow. I might stream tomorrow. I doubt I'll be playing any tonight because I am dog tired.
Yeah. It's been a long day.
Yep.
Prepping for this show. Prepping for the glitch.
First time on the show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Last time on the show.
Probably.
You're usually pretty busy on Monday nights.
You got to make an impact.
That's right. Deadite, what do you got?
First off, play me my track.
I mean, you have the button. It's your job.
I know. I was talking to myself. I was getting myself hyped up. I was getting myself excited.
Okay, fair enough.
So, where Miggy asks, what would Grim do?
Oh, boy.
I'm a leopard. My spots do not change. Deadite does what Deadite does, which that is find out a $60 game is on sale for $3 and go, do I really need this game? $2.99?
I know.
Am I going to play it? I don't know. $3? I don't know.
Hold on. You were debating with me before you bought it.
Second part of the debate.
Okay, all right.
I had already committed.
Okay. This part I didn't know about.
I already committed. Okay, I'll at least buy the $3 edition. And I'm talking The Division 2 was on sale for $3.
Yeah.
And so then Grim and I work in a building with Invalid, a.k.a. the king of the division.
Yep.
I walked right over to his cubicle, hung up the phone call he was on. I just pressed it. I didn't care if he was, fixing a server on the other side of the country. Didn't care. It was time for him to talk to me about the division. I was like, Invalid, what comes in these DLC packs that I can get by buying like the $15 or the $18 edition of the division?
Mind you, the $18 edition would have been like the $120 edition that we both bought.
For sure. And he's like, isn't it like... Doesn't it say in the store? I go, no, not really. That's a lot of reading. Can you just tell me? Can you just tell me what's going on? And Invalid lays it down for me real quick. And I'm like, mostly cosmetic stuff and like extra DLC. I don't even know if I'm going to play this game. $3 edition it is. So.
Good move.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to stay cheap. Got to stay frugal. I got to have that. Got to have that beer money, Got to have priorities.
I think I said the DLC is always on sale nowadays anyways, so you'll find it if you want
Grim's like, if you actually like the game, you can buy the DLC later, which was a good point.
So there's no sharks in this game, so you're probably not going to like it.
Dude, I've already uninstalled it.
Until the Jaws edition comes out.
Ooh, yeah.
Man, now we're talking. So I also hit up our boy Bax and was like, hey man, Division 2 is $3. I'm going to download it. And I stuck firm with my statement of in 2020, I'm getting back to gaming online. After just 6 hours of PlayStation Online gaming in 2019, on Sunday, I played at least 3 hours of Division 2 with our boy Bax. We linked up and we ran some duos. And, I had a lot of fun with it. And I think it affirms the fact that I have missed gaming online with people. I have missed that community aspect and the social interaction of just playing video games with someone else instead of just playing single-player campaigns all the time. And, you know, I decided that with the Division 2, I'm not going to play that like just on my own. I'm going to wait till I link up with a friend to play it, because the way the gunplay is just so different than other games that I've played, because a lot of it is, you know, hiding in cover, shooting behind cover, flanking the enemies. It really is a cooperative game. So it was a really good first experience getting through the first couple hours of the Division. I look forward to playing it some more, and it's just good to have a return to online gaming, and was worth $3.
I love 2020 Deadite. Completing games.
Dude,
I know.
Online
I'm a
play.
new guy, man.
Turned a new leaf, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it all started with me finishing Breath of the Wild in October. Then after that, I've just been closing out games. I'm working on the backlog. I'm playing games online again. Honestly, you want to know what it is? I stopped playing Rocket League. Rocket League ate up so much of my time.
It's those games that like never have
Yeah.
any ending. That's what I'm stuck in, where I play League and then Rocket League and Apex and Fortnite. They're all just games where it's like rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, and I'm staying
forever.
away from
It's
those
just
right
a
now.
sandbox.
Yeah, I'm playing games that have endings.
Yeah, and that's so like when I broke off to play Star Wars and finished it, I was like, I have to get this for Deadite. Like every once in a while when I played Zelda or Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, those were those moments where I'm like, why don't I play more games like this? This was so much more enjoyable. But now I'm stuck in Forza, which is a never-ending racer. So there you go.
Yeah, two of the games I beat this fall were gifts from Grim. I beat Link's Awakening, which was a birthday gift,
Yeah.
and then he gave me a Star Wars for Christmas. So those two games, I was like, oh, this is a gift. I have to play this. I have to see this all the way through, so my friend feels like he got the value out of his gift.
Yep, there you go.
And I loved both of those games.
But now you're in the Division, which is technically a never-ending game.
It's technically a never-ending game, but I'm not going to go play that on my own, and it's not like
Yet.
It's not like Bax and I are going to be linking up every night to play the Division. It's going to be, hey, we have an hour here, a couple hours there to link up and play, because I am going to try to be more intentional with gaming online with my friends this year.
But
so.
what happens when you have your buddy Bax and you, and then Invalid returns?
He's an Xbox guy now. He's not coming back for me.
I don't know.
He's going to leave my carcass behind in the wasteland that is the PlayStation community.
Okay, we'll just check.
You never said you're coming back. See how that? See, you threw Invalid under the bus, but you never said what about when I boot up Division? Because you know it's not going to happen.
You're correct.
You know you don't care about me and
You
Bax.
know I moved the PlayStation downstairs into the studio for a reason.
Yeah, the studio, the moving the PlayStation down to the studio is literally just a stone's throw from the trash.
Something's going on in the studio.
What is Xander farted? Okay. No, we don't hear about Xander's flatulence. I'm the only one that gets to talk about farting on this show. Grim, gaming moment of the week.
Oh my goodness!
It's getting Miggy. It's coming over to Miggy. If that gets to me, Xander, I'm going to take back every nice thing I said to you on this show.
It was the
It's already here.
The pizza.
It's already here.
It's not getting me.
It's already here. It's here.
What do you mean it's the pizza? Who ate my pizza? You guys ate my pizza? You guys ate my pizza that was supposed to feed me for the next week.
Game moment of the week.
I'm just kidding. I didn't buy that pizza. It was Grim's.
Honestly, when you guys asked me to be on the show, I thought my segment was going to be me eating like 170 shrimp.
One piece left.
No, we didn't want to do that. No.
What's it?
Is there literally only one piece left?
Can you feed it to me?
You know who ate most of it?
Xander?
Xander.
You got to feed it to me.
Communal doesn't mean eat all the pizza. Okay, anyways, restart my music. Gaming moment of the week.
This was a bad idea. This was my idea. And this
was
a
your
bad
idea.
I'm sorry.
We gave it to you this year, and you still botched it. Like
400
we all
will not be
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah,
If we're still around.
yeah, we're not gonna make it to 400.
Dude, I'm. Yeah.
Gaming moment of the week has to be hanging out on Sunday with Spidey 2KX, building his PC live on Mixer. So Spidey 2KX has been busting his ass, working overtime, any extra hours he can grab so that he could afford to build himself a computer that he really wanted. It finally happened where he was able to buy the last piece, and he goes, now I need your help to build it. So we built it right here on this studio table and had a really good time doing it. He got to learn a lot about computers. We had a really good time with the Mixer community coming in, asking a bunch of questions about technology, why we were doing, why we picked certain gear, all that type of stuff. It turned into like a 7-hour stream, not because it really would have took that long to build this computer if we weren't streaming, but because we were just having a good time. We at one point had Wings stop and just talked with the chat about PC equipment and what they would need to do to play certain games and all that type of stuff. So I don't know. I always have a good time building a computer for the glitch, building a computer for Spidey or whoever it is. I think my next one might be helping Xander via FaceTime because he doesn't have patience and doesn't want to bring the parts over later on this week. So, I mean, I enjoy building computers, and this one just like it's probably the cleanest build I've ever had. It was like art. When it was done, I was a little sad to see it leave the house, and just I'm sitting here, I'm like, wow. It's the same computer as mine. I mean, really, it was almost an identical build to my PC, and I was jealous because I was able to have probably, as far as wire management, it was perfect. The colors, like he went out and picked up like RGB everything. It just looked really cool, and so he obviously was very excited. It was, I don't know, 2 a.m. when he left. He left. He may or may not have, I don't want to throw him under the bus, but he may or may not have just blew off his significant other to go straight home, hook the computer up, and then we played League of Legends at like 4 a.m. This was the same night that Miggy was still playing Soul Calibur. Yep. So we're both up at like 5, 6 in the morning playing video games, and hearing how excited Spidey was, it was like a kid. It's like you see that video on YouTube of like the Nintendo 64 kid. It was like that. He's like 240 frames per second. Oh my God, I'm using 1% of my CPU. This is amazing. Just freaking out. And I was like, yeah, man, it's a pretty big upgrade from your laptop. Like, I'm happy for you. He's like, this is game changing. He's like, all I want to do, he goes, I literally built, and I don't even know how much money this PC in total costs, but I spent all this money to play a 10-year-old video game on this computer. But the big piece was the following day, he fired up Mixer, hit the stream button, was able to stream League while he played League, all from the same PC perfectly, which means job done for me. And yeah, it was super cool.
Awesome.
I heard it took so long because you suck at building PCs.
Nope. Okay, we're moving on with this because it's a 2-hour show. We got to work on wrapping things up. Now, is there any special news or announcements that needs to happen here?
Man, I might have something.
You might have something, Glitch.
It's about getting more pizza.
All right, let's order it up.
Pizza. You ate the last pizza.
Order it up. I got the Domino's app. It's this little Italian joint down the street. We can try that.
Have more pizza.
It's empty.
All right, let's go. Let's get pace of play here. Let's keep it going. This isn't baseball. This is hockey.
So twice a year, I run a video game charity event, the Morelli Video Gaming Tournament, and we just got some news. We got a date set and a new charity picked out because every time we do the events, we pick a new charity. So we've done ALS of Michigan, Michigan Disabled American Veterans, Michigan Humane Society. So the date for this one is April 4th, and the charity is... Yes. The charity is MDA, Muscular Dystrophy Association. And so we got the hall picked out, and the new place isn't at the VFW hall we normally have. It's Pandemonium Games and Hobbies in Garden City, Michigan. I met with the owners. They were nice enough. They're working with everything. It's going to be great. I'm really excited about the new location. I think it's good for the brand. I think that we can raise a lot of money for MDA this time.
Yeah, that's huge.
Now, registration isn't up yet. We're going to have that ready March 1st. But I also have great news as well on that. I got a website up.
Website.
So you can go to MorelliVGT.com.
It's a website.
It is a website. Right now, it's still in the early phases, but I do have the past winners page up and updated.
Is my face on there?
Your face is on there, Chops, as well as Xander, Craig WK, the Sphinx, Grimlock, no Deadite.
I'm not a winner. I am not a winner. That's
but
not what I
go
do.
there, head there.
Can you have a participant section? Honored participants, celebrity guests.
But we'll have more to come, more updates as we go on. Obviously, you can go to GameZilla Media. We'll have it linked there, I'm sure, as well. And these guys are awesome. They help me promote it. You know, we get the word out. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome, man. That's great news. Thanks for sharing it.
Thank you.
On episode 300.
300.
Big time stuff.
All right, go finish your pizza.
All right, I'll leave you guys.
Get out of here, you wonderful Italian specimen.
Oh, it's freezing.
Yeah, good luck breathing that gas from Xander. So, this has been a big episode 300, and again, I want to remind everyone, get on over to our Patreon if you're watching this live on Mixer. It's going to post tomorrow morning. If you're listening to the podcast after it's already posted, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, everywhere else, it's going to be available for you right now. Go to our Patreon, patreon.com/GameZilla Media. We're going to have an amazing conversation with the people that are here in this room. It's going to be a group collaboration across the GameZilla podcast shows about gaming communities and the way it affects the way that we have, shaped our lives as gamers, because it is a celebration of the fact, 300 episodes of GameZilla. Some of that we were called Bit by 8-Bit, some of it we were called BX8B. For the rest of it, we've been GameZilla.
Motor City Gaming.
Yep, Motor City Gaming. We were never called the Motor City Gaming Podcast.
Oh, yeah, we weren't. You're right.
Dummies. I think I know things. So, but
we should have been.
This podcast has also spawned a community. The people that are in this room are part of that community. It lives in Discord, and we want to celebrate that community on Patreon. So it's going to be free to all. Give you a little taste of the fun we offer on Patreon. So make sure, if you're listening to this, get that extra show, patreon.com/GameZilla Media. And thank you to all of our patrons. We appreciate you so much. You've kept us going for 300 episodes.
Yeah, it's been an amazing ride. I just want to thank everybody. Like you said, the community has been amazing to our podcast and us, but also just like individuals. I've made so many friends and been able to game with people.
I've made a lot of enemies.
Hang out with people.
And I made enemies.
I mean, I've traveled to gaming conventions with people that I would have never thought I would go to a gaming convention with, because they steal souls, and here we are. We're doing okay. I'm still here, but I think the one last announcement I want to make. We don't have a ton of details about it, but it is official that we are going to be working with JJ and his team from CS Mott. And we are going to be taking part in Victorthon, an event that's happening through the not through Children's Hospital, through the University of Michigan. We're going to get more details. It is going to be a 24-hour event that's going to involve retro gaming is a theme. Retro gaming.
It's going to be super cool.
And all sort of forms of gaming. It's the whole concept is it is a charity to raise funds to help the Children's Hospital in many ways. So when we get those extra details of how we're going to be participating and what that means, but we've been told of ideas of live shows from the event, live streams, gaming, and of course just having a ton of fun with Mario Kart and Rock Band and all that other type of stuff that we might be bringing to the table. So it's gonna be a good time, and that happens at the end of March. So we got a little bit of time here, but we'll be ready. So I want to thank JJ and his team for always thinking about us when these type of events are coming along. Of course, we like to help out, but it is it's an honor for sure. So with that being said, I don't have a whole lot else. It's been awesome. I've shaken everybody else's hand. I guess I will shake your hand.
It feels wrong.
Yes, I want to thank you for putting up with my shit, and I thank everybody for the last. It's been a couple of years now, but the last couple of years of me being a very up and down type person with health and everything else that's been going on. GameZilla Media is something that has allowed me to rebalance myself and stay stable, even when I'm having a bad day or something like that. It's just something I look forward to. I like hanging out with everybody that's part of it, and I just I find it's a good stress reliever. It's people that I never knew reaching out to me, checking on how I'm doing and things like that. That just I don't know, never thought it'd happen, and here we are. So, thank you. That's it. Thank you for 300 amazing episodes, and we're going to keep it going. And I hope you're,
or we won't. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope you're excited. I hope you're excited about the new intros and the new concepts of that we're gonna be doing the $10 credit giveaways every episode, and we have the new Patreon ideas coming down the road right now. So all sorts of stuff that we're looking in 2020 to continue to build, get more involved in our community through events, things like what the Glitch had just talked about, and what we're doing with children's and all that stuff that we're again trying to grow and with it help others out. So yeah, awesome. We already talked about the website and all the other great shows. So just remember, we are your elite free DLC for all your gaming news. And until next time,
Game on.
Thank you for being a friend.
Hopefully I'm spelling everything right here.
Yeah, other people in the room. Not that there are any other people here in the room.
The chat room?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of weird to refer to the chat like that.
I'm not really up on the technologies that the kids are using. The chat rooms.
I don't think we've used chat room since AOL.
Man.
Did I say chat room, or you guys just switched over to that?
Huh?
Okay, that's great.